Hey everybody, welcome to the Urban Turner. This is my first video that I'm doing, and what better place to start than sharpening. And so I'm starting out with how I do my sharpening and how I've done it since I started about 6 years ago. This jig has been with me since that amount of time, and it's just one that I made because I wanted to try it. And you know, I could always go buy one from One Way, or I could do an Ellsworth jig, but this one I've made, and I've always used it, and it's never failed me. So I've always just kept with it and never bought another one. So I wanted to share that with you and see, you know, kind of what parts it is, and if one of you guys want to try and do it, then you'll know how. This is similar to the Ellsworth jig. It has a box on the top, which is just tacked together out of walnut. It also, on the inside, the main part is this V shape. That's right here. That's just made on the bandsaw, just a simple V to hold it. And then we have this metal piece on the inside, which is just a flat piece of metal that I bought at Ace Hardware. Cut it, shaped it, and folded the sides down so that sits on the inside without moving. There's a T-nut on the inside and a wing nut on the bottom in order to tighten it up. Okay. Now, of course, the different sizes, the 3/8, 5/8, 1/2 inch, all these different sizes that you're going to be putting through for your back grinds, you'll have to have spacers on the inside. Those spacers I have over here, so that all those are laid out for my 3/8 spacer, my 5/8 spacer, and my 1/2 inch spacer. So we're going to do 5/8 inch. So I slide that in underneath. And I have my tool here that I'm going to grind with you. First of all, on the bottom here, you'll notice one thing. I have an acorn nut here. I have a little bit, I cut off a little bit of this all thread right here. This is 3/8 size. I cut off a little bit for the bottom, and just a couple threads in there for the acorn nut that's on the bottom here. Otherwise, the rest of it, this allows me the variation on the top to figure out how much wing I want to have on the outside of my tools. And also, when I get new tools, it also allows me to have a variation down here so that I can duplicate the same grind that comes from the factory. So that has worked out really nice for me. This on the top here is how I adjust the height here. This just threads back and forward in order to adjust my height. And then this is a nut here that goes on that is a lock nut, Teflon lock nut that's on there that holds that in place. Okay? So all I do in order to register that is I take my Thompson 5/8 inch tool, put it on the inside when I want to sharpen it, and take it over here to my cleats that are sitting on the top of my grinding station here. And all the cleats on the top here have the different names of each of them that are going to be ground. This one's a 5/8 Thompson V15. So I lock that in, just like that, and there is my setup, ready to go over to my platform. Now, to know where this distance is here and where the platform is, usually I have set ahead of time, but I do have these keys that are right here for each one of the background, background pieces that I have. And this happens to be the Thompson. There's two settings on here, one for the platform, one for the jig setting. And you'll see the jig setting is right there. I already have that preset. And then I go over here to the platform. And this platform is just made out of 3 pieces of walnut. This platform underneath my grinder is also in walnut. And then this has the inside of a groove in here, and for my T-track that's here, just a regular T-track gripper and a little piece of T-track here, and it being held down right there, and I just go ahead and put that T-track in. I use my platform setting. I just set that to where I need it. Usually have that preset before I start a project. And let me just double check that one more time again. There we go. And get that chain out of the way. Alright, that's all ready to go. Hang that back up. Bring that over, and because I have my acorn nut on the bottom, one of the nice things is that helps me to do this. Another great thing is that this is kind of heavy on the bottom. So it offsets some of the weight on the top and makes this really kind of a fluid motion. A lot more fluid than the other jigs that you might have on the market because they're so light. So let's go ahead. I got to double check here. Yep, looks like we're ready to go, so I double check. Start from the center, work my way out to the wing lightly, past the center. Start from the wing, work my way to the center, start from the wing, work my way to the center, and go all the way across. And I'm ready to go back to work. So there is my 60-degree grind. You'll see it's nice and clean and even on all sides, and we're ready to go. So that's how I set up my grinding station, what my grinding station looks like. Go to the urbanturner.com and let me know what you think, and if you'd like to have some specs on this and like to build it yourself, I can get it for you at that time. Thanks.
And we're